disrespect is gone. And, like, I feel like, at least for college hoops, women's basketball has been way better.
Yeah. March is one of the best months to be a sports fan, and this year has totally lived up to the hype.
In this episode, we'll go over topics such as the state of women's basketball, the Stefon Diggs trade, and the return of the reigning MVP, Joel Embiid.
Yeah, and this is why women's college basketball has been way better than men's these last 2 years.
Just getting right into it, let's talk about that Caitlin Clark game, man. She is legendary.
I really can't hate at all. Her game is, like, so solid. She really does feel like a level above, like, most other players. Because when I watch college basketball, it's kind of how my friend put it one time when we were watching a game. It was like, high school players are consistently horrible, right? College basketball players are consistently, like, not good. But then when you get to the NBA, it's a whole nother level. Now when you mess up in the NBA, it looks really bad. But mess ups happen all the time in college, and that's what high school seems to be. But Caitlin Clark's game feels like it's on that another level. I'm not saying, she's good enough to go to the league or anything. I feel like that's like
it's a
very casual take,
right?
It's
a bit of a stretch.
But I mean, she can't go to the league off of defense only.
Yeah.
But her game, though, I guess at least offensively, is really there. And she can rebound,
yeah,
too,
Okay, I made a tweet about this. One of the most, like, the craziest things is that she's an elite playmaker. Like, she had, 12 assists to go along with her 40 points. But those assists, they weren't like, here's a little toss under the basket. No, she was slinging the ball down the court. Like, it was like a bullet pass in football. I mean, she was making very, very tight windows. She was assisting them straight to the basket on fast breaks, and that's why they couldn't stop them. She would beat them on the 3 ball, and she would beat them in the passing lane, and they, one way or the other, LSU just could not keep up with her.
No. My dad texted me during the game. He was like, Iowa's on a different level than LSU, just like as a team as well. And you can credit a lot of that to Caitlin Clark. Like, I feel like the difference between, like, her and Steph, like, their game, I feel like she's much more of, like, a true point guard than Steph is, you know? There's always been that conversation where, Draymond's really the point guard, Steph is a shooting guard.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're like, we just play basketball, as they say. But she really, like, embodies what a point guard is, and she's still, like, scoring at, like, such a high volume as well.
Yeah, no, and defensively, I think she's a bit underrated on that end, too, because at the end of the game, she made a really clutch steal.
Yeah.
Just overall, like, that performance will go down as one of the best performances in women's basketball history. And you just see, like, what she was doing to Haley, not even Haley, what she was doing to everybody.
To everyone.
Like, you can't guard that. I don't care if you go to the WNBA and they're better than college.
Yeah.
You cannot guard that. She's pulling it from the logo, like, every time, and she even hit, like a step back, like, that, in the blink of an eye. She's just,
the way she can just create separation
it's ridiculous.
How tall is she?
I don't know. She has
to be kind of tall.
Yeah, she seems a bit taller. But I also love her energy, man. Like, we were talking earlier before the podcast about Angel Reese, and I feel like, she brought that energy last year and is super entertaining. Yeah. But the way she carried herself this year was, like, she was, quote unquote, standing on business before, but then after the game, she was trying to play the victim. Like Emmanuel, he went on a rant. I think it was on First Take, and just saying that, like, he doesn't really feel bad for Angel Reese. Like, the racial comments, like, that's another story.
That's a whole different topic.
That's a whole different topic. But her playing the victim after trying to be the big bad wolf, it's not a great look for her.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit personal for me because, like, she's coming out of Baltimore. That's where she's from. And you know that she won last year. That's great for the city overall. And it's like, everyone's, like, really proud of her, right? But a lot of the criticism she received from last year and this season, and especially in the playoffs now, I feel like she kind of, like, a lot of them became like warranted the way she like acted after the game.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it felt like, oh, I'm not trying to make any excuses or anything. But then she gives excuses right after that. Like, I guess she's just wrong, you know? But I don't know, something about it feels a little bit deeper than basketball.
Yeah.
Or outside of basketball a little bit. Because she didn't really play that bad. But
no,
she did tweak her ankle.
Yeah, don't, like...
But still...
This is not to discredit her performance.
Yeah.
I mean, 17 and 20 is ridiculous. Like, Iowa, for a hot minute there, in the second half, she just could not get a rebound.
No.
Like, she was getting everything off the offensive glass.
And I think Caitlin Clark commented on that, too.
Yeah, she was, like, a monster. And I also think that, like, the last call that she fouled out on, that was a bad call.
That was,
That was not a charge.
I don't think you do it in that moment as well.
Yeah, no, she's moving. That was a bad call for the ref because it's just too important, like you said, in that moment. So it's not to take away from her performance at all. I just think that, you know, he mentioned she's from Baltimore, so he has a little bit of a bias thing with her. If an athlete from Philly came out and, like, of course an athlete from Philly is going to be the big bad wolf. Like, we're a city that's, like, you know, we're just going to trash talk you. We're going to beat you down. Exactly. Nobody likes Philly. If a Philly athlete was doing all that and then came out and was saying, and tried to victim blame, or play the victim.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, we would not, I mean, we saw what happened to Ben Simmons, who was quote unquote soft. It just did not end out well. So I think, like, with her, she has to pick a side.
Yeah.
And stick with it. Like, if she wants to be the big bad wolf and, like, tear up the WNBA like that, I mean, go for it. She's really entertaining.
Yeah.
And she's a great player. But you can't be wishy-washy like that. And that's why, like Caitlin Clark is consistently, like, she's a beast on the court and she brings that beast energy. But at the same time, she's pretty chill off the court. Right. So it's not like she doesn't...
She's consistent.
Yeah. With it. And I think a lot of people would respect Angel Reese more if she, like, stayed consistent with her, like, stance. And, I mean, she could have just said, you know, Caitlin Clark is just the best player in the league, or she's just that dominant. And I work my butt off, whatever. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I guess they get media trained, so I feel like that might play a little part of it. With like, last year, and just in general, she's been, like, not out of control, but, like, you know, she's got the reputation in the first place. So maybe media training had a little bit to do with it, because that is a big part of college, like, getting trained for the media when you go to the league, and how, like, in front of the media she's been right in front of our eyes for the last few years. So
yeah,
definitely.
Also, speaking on that, I didn't realize how popular she was.
Oh, yeah.
Because every single ad, she was, like, in, like, half of them.
Yeah.
I feel like watching that.
Yeah, I mean, women's basketball is really on the rise. Like,
yeah.
That, what day was it? Thursday?
That was Monday.
That was Monday? That was this week? Dang.
Yeah.
Like, that day probably will go down as, like, one of, if not the most important days in women's basketball history.
I think Travis Scott tweeted it out, too.
Yeah.
That is a huge day for women's basketball.
And not only the Caitlin versus Angel Reese matchup, but we got Paige Bueckers versus...
Juju.
Yeah, Juju. And that matchup lived up, too.
Yeah, it did.
Like, they were the top two scorers. The only difference, Juju just wasn't really as efficient as Paige. But Paige is... She's standing up.
The two of them are remarkable because she's coming back from a big injury.
Yeah.
And Juju's 18 years old.
Yeah, she's a freshman.
She's our age, bro.
No, she's ridiculous. I mean, like, the amount of hype, like, I don't know, you're not on Twitter as much as I am, like, for sports. That night, I was just on Twitter, and the entire time, like, the timeline was just, everybody was talking about that game. When you have everybody watching the same game, and it's a women's basketball game, and it's not even it was the Elite Eight.
Exactly, not even the championship.
And now on the Final Four, we get a Paige Bueckers versus Caitlin Clark matchup.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. We got another one.
Yeah. Who do you think is the better player?
Oh, Caitlin. For sure. I mean...
I'm thinking it's Paige.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean... Maybe
I feel like all around.
All around is what I would say. Maybe all around. But, like, Caitlin is just... it's hard to not say she's like the best women's basketball player of all time in college at least.
Well, yeah, of all time.
She holds all the records. Like she just got the 3-point record too.
Yeah.
And she's not only like hitting logo.
Did she do that on Monday as well?
Yeah. In that game. Not only is she hitting step back threes for the win from the logo in the regular season, but she's hitting 11 or 9, 10 or 11 threes, one of the three in the playoffs in her biggest matchup since the championship.
Didn't feel like there's any pressure on her that game too. At least it didn't look like she felt
no, not at all.
It seemed like a normal stat line for her.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was just the craziest. Like, I just remember watching her and just, oh my God, like, how is this happening? Like, she don't miss. Like, every time she would pull out, like, from way downtown, like, that's a bad shot in the NBA. You're like, what are you doing shooting that in the NBA? And she's doing this in, like, college. So I feel like, I mean, we've talked about this before. Caitlin Clark is going to go and team up with Aaliyah Boston.
Which is, how did they let that happen?
Yeah, I know. That's, man, really, that could be Tim Duncan.
Yeah, it's like such a parallel there.
Yeah, and I mean, like, they could dominate the league, which I would really like to see happen. Like,
especially.
With Aaliyah, our bias being from the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, but still number 1 overall pick.
Rookie of the year. Caitlin Clark's going to do the same exact thing, I assume.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully she stays healthy. And I'll say hopefully it translates to the WNBA, but I find it hard not to.
How does it not?
Yeah, it's not like her play style isn't like, I don't know, the quote-unquote a college play style. She just shoots threes from wherever she feels like it and makes them.
So it's not even traditional anyway.
Yeah, no. So I feel like, I mean, they could probably go down as the best duo of all time if they stick together in the WNBA. And of course, Caitlin Clark got offered that $5 million contract with the Big Three. Is that what the Ice Cube?
Something, I think. I know
something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that she should take it, but I think it would allow her to play in the WNBA, but I think she might have to miss some games for it.
Yeah.
So I think the league would have to clear it, or her team at least. But yeah, sticking with basketball, but moving on from women's, Joel Embiid made his return not last night, but the night before, and it went about as well as it could go.
Yeah, for coming off that injury.
I mean, like,
with his braids in.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's another topic, like, surrounding Embiid that I want to get to in a second, but just based on the game, this season, like, earlier, like, when I had the opportunity to ask him a question, I just asked, like, why are you pushing it? Like, what's different about this season? Or, like, how important is it to you to put that extra effort in? And he was, early in the season, he was moving so much more fluidly, and, like, he just looked so lightweight, even though he's this 280-pound, 7'2" beast. He looked lightweight, and, like, he looked like he was moving like a small forward out there. This game, you could definitely see that, like, his steps looked heavier. He didn't look as quick, and he looked a little bit uncomfortable, but his knee is not 100%.
Yeah.
So he's still got to be gingerly on it. I mean, he still made some plays and took some hits. But I think he had 23 points. And
yeah, somewhere around there.
He has like 23 points on 5 for 11 shooting from the field, which he started off way less efficient. Like, I remember my friend Jacob Moreno, he made a tweet like saying that, he's just glad that Joel Embiid keeps shooting and shaking off the rust. And I said he could go 2 for 30. I don't care as long as he gets the rust off.
Right.
And after that, he finished the game with an efficient 23 points. And he had 7 assists as well. So really, like, and it was in a win. Granted, without the Thunder, without Shea, but it was in a win, and I think him being able to, like, already get back to his playmaking style, like, he can't be the dominant player that he was just yet. So, and they're still, like, triple and quadruple teaming him. That's a crazy thing, and he's still scoring on them. So right now, I think it's really good that he's getting looks at what his playmaking workload is going to be like in the playoffs. Because with Buddy Hield, with Tyrese Maxey, I keep saying it, with the shooters, the Sixers could really be dominant if Embiid, like, he's either going to give you 40 or he could give you 10 assists and still probably give you 40 at the same time. Like, that's the thing. So he could really develop into a playmaker in the postseason, especially if he's still, I don't want to say pampering, but, like, being careful with his knee.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm pleased with how it went. I think the league should be scared again.
Yeah, I don't think you could expect or wish for a better night than y'all had.
Yeah, you drop a 20 piece, show that you still are a good playmaker and that you can do something other than score when you need to.
Exactly. Which can be big in playoffs.
Exactly, that's huge. Especially like Buddy Hield has been a little bit inconsistent with his shot. So is Tyrese Maxey, but with open looks, like, they're gonna get a lot of them. Like, if they're not getting a lot of open looks, then Embiid is open and he's scoring, because like I said, he's still scoring on these triple and quadruple teams. But yeah, great. Maybe not great, but a really solid performance for a return from injury, especially that caliber that some people thought were going to be season ending. So yeah, I'm really glad to see him back on the court. I think a lot of other NBA fans aren't glad to see him back on the court because their team will have to be in fear of him in the playoffs.
Yeah, and especially with the seeding, that's like...
It's really
first seed
right
Celtics is locked up, but second seed,
God,
the Bucks are slipping.
Yes,
yeah.
I wanted to just mention that real quickly. They lost to the Wizards and the Grizzlies, two of the league's worst teams.
How do you lose to the... And I saw the picture when they lost to the Grizzlies. I didn't watch the game, but I saw Giannis in uniform at the end of the game. So that's...
No, they flat out lost.
Yeah.
To two bad teams. And
I think the Cavs can probably...
Yeah, no, the Cavs, they're a game behind right now. Doc Rivers, either a game or a half a game. Doc Rivers is not taking much accountability, and he's saying, he's just, like, sitting back and watching. Right, you're the coach.
That's Doc Rivers, though.
Yeah, we've had that discussion before. We don't need to have it again. I mean, I keep saying this, like, almost every episode. It'll be just really interesting to see what happens, because the Sixers could make the 6th seed, and the Knicks are now without Julius Randle for the rest of the season, which sucks for them.
I'm not sure how much it sucks in the playoffs, though, but...
I mean, I guess, but,
still,
he hasn't
you don't want
performed
to
well
lose
historically.
A good player, though.
But he's their second best player.
Yeah.
Like, he's a really important piece. And they have the talent to go to at least the conference finals this season, without a doubt. Not that they would have, but they had the talent.
If we have good matchups, favorable matchups, I think it could happen. But,
I mean, that's what, like, the Sixers better hope they get the 7 or the 6 seed.
They need that 7. Imagine, though, the 7th seed and then the Cavs get the 2nd seed. I feel like that's an easy win.
That's a good matchup for the Sixers, to be honest.
That's what I would be hoping
the Bucks, for. That's like...
The Bucks are looking like a second round.
They need the 2nd or the 6th seed. Because... Not 2nd, 7th or the 6th seed. Because... Okay. Jared Allen cannot guard Embiid.
No.
We've seen this. He has dominated him. And Jared Allen is he's a defensive-minded player. The Bucks cannot guard Embiid. We've seen this over the last few years. The Sixers got better, and they have played relatively well against the Bucks this season, even in losses. So with the Sixers at almost full strength, it's really hard to imagine a series where the Bucks were losing to the Wizards and the Grizzlies, that they could beat the Sixers with Embiid in a 7-game series, who now have Buddy Hield and Nico Batum, added shooters around them. And then now Kyle Lowry, he's been big. He's going to start in the playoffs, I think.
I didn't notice that he won too.
Yeah, no, he's averaged like 10 a game, maybe less, but he's been efficient from 3, and he's just a veteran leader that's going to bring that effort.
Need.
Yeah.
He was on the Heat for that run. I think he got a concussion, but still. Did you know, fun fact, every year Kevin Love has made the playoffs, he's been to the finals.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually crazy. Imagine, like, being able to say that.
Yeah. And that's, 5 times?
Damn. There was a debate, like, side note, There's a debate on Kenny Beecham's podcast that like should Kevin Love make the Hall of Fame? And I feel like he low-key
he should.
He has a resume
Definitely.
for it. Like the thing is, they said no in that video, but then they said DeMar DeRozan should make the Hall of
Okay,
Fame.
no, then
Yeah, I feel like if you have DeMar, you have to have Kevin Love in there. Like
Kevin, he was like a great player.
yeah, I mean he's never been like I don't think. I mean maybe Minnesota days.
Yeah,
he's never been a
I'm thinking
super.
about
He's never been a superstar.
He's never been a superstar like that.
But he's
But
a
still.
champion. He has playoff. He has accolades. He
was a solid player in Minnesota. Then he
Yeah.
gets brought to the Cavs.
He was a solid player
And
with the Cavs.
They should have won at least 2 trips
Yeah.
there if he didn't tear his shoulder in half.
Yeah.
And he's been a part of 5 finals runs.
Yeah, that's.
I don't see, and the last one was no easy feat as well as a 8 seed. Yeah, because they lost the first playing game. As an 8 seed, they made it to the finals, and he's been a crucial part of that. As a vet, I feel like he's been there every step of his career. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say just based on resume, he is. I mean, there's an argument for him not to be, but I think if you're gonna have DeMar, you're gonna have
DeMar,
you
like
have to have
what?
Kevin Love. I mean, yeah, it's a bit. Anyways, we're getting a bit sidetracked here. But yeah, the East will be super interesting. I think the Sixers could make it to round 2 or 3 easily, just based on who they would be matched up with, unless they get the A seed, which they just better pray that they don't because it's the Celtics, and the Celtics first round, maybe in the second round with Embiid getting more healthy and him getting more acclimated to playing again, but in the first round, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, back to the one thing I want to touch on with Embiid, quickly, because I just remembered it in his post-game interview. He talked about, I really respect him for this. He talked about when he was injured, battling through depression, and
that's real.
Yeah,
when you're injured, that's one of the most demoralizing things.
Yeah, I mean, Embiid has said. I mean, he said it in the interview, but he's said it countless times. He just loves to play basketball. Any chance to play basketball, he wants to play basketball, and he's been injured for so much of his career, and this season he was having the best season of all time before he got injured, and he just had to sit at home. Sitting at home, not every game, but sitting at home and watching your team is one thing, but watching them lose when you're on I think it was Sixer Daily maybe on Twitter. Yesterday I saw a tweet. They were on pace to win 63 games with Embiid. And they've won 9 games without him. So he really is. Okay, probably more than that. But he's really when you talk about most valuable, this season, it would have been his to win.
I thought it would have been unanimous. Really clear earlier in the season.
It would have been unanimous. I feel like Jokic is just the easy option now. I didn't realize how much better the Nuggets got though. How much they climbed up the standings until I really looked. But
I thought there would have been a 4 seed.
Yeah, personally, I'm gonna say it should go. Luka is. I'd have Luka at second regardless, and then I think it should go to whoever gets the first seed.
It has to be Luka. It has to be Luka. Honestly, this is
they're
NBA.
They're getting better too. Luka is ridiculous.
When was the last time the first seed won the MVP? That hasn't happened in some years. I feel like.
Yeah.
Not Curry.
Is it?
No, it can't be. That was too long ago.
Yeah, probably.
Harden. Or Giannis. One of those two.
Yeah.
Luka is done. I feel he's the clear-cut best basketball player in the world. I feel like. At least this season, with all the injuries and things like that.
Yeah, this season, without a doubt, he has been.
And with things he's done this season, 74 points. Insane stat lines every other night.
The problem.
And now his team, I felt the problem from my standpoint. For most of the year, they weren't winning.
Yeah, but
and now they did lose. Oh, they did lose to the Warriors, but
they're ramping up a bit.
Yeah,
now.
They're one of the hottest teams in the league.
Yeah.
And Jokic won it as a 6 seed when his argument was his PR stat.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, by the way, Hey guys, you want to talk about a flawed stat? According to PER, Andre Drummond is the 4th best Chicago Bull player of all time, over Scottie Pippen. There's a fun fact for you. I read an article about that, and boy, was I shocked.
Show me.
But the one thing that was accurate was Michael Jordan's PR was the highest by 7. Like, it's crazy. He was him. But Jokic does have the highest PR of all time.
He does. Yeah.
What
does Westbrook?
Well, okay, Jordan on the Bull. I don't know. The thing with PR is that it's a big man stat, because like Andre Drummond, you wouldn't think of, oh, he's like this great player. He shoots the ball efficiently because he shoots shots that he can hit. He comes in and rebounds, and he does it in like 15 minutes a game. So he'll get you like 6 points, he'll get you 8 rebounds, and he'll shoot the ball 50 to 60% a game. That's efficient. When you talk about player efficiency rating, like that's when it makes sense. Obviously, it's not as high as Jokic, who's just doing crazy stuff. But Michael Jordan, I think might be even the top 10, but at least the top 5 is the only player who is not a big man.
Yeah.
And he also, like, Jordan on the Bulls has the highest PR of all time. It's over Jokic's. But, we keep getting sidetracked these things, but I think, like, they're worth mentioning because it's really, like, that is a flawed stat. But yeah, I think Luka, it's hard because the Thunder and the Nuggets are so good, and you just know how much better Shea and Jokic make them. But it really is hard to deny like how great of a season Luka has had.
And I feel like the thing with Shea, his team is just so well constructed.
Yeah, I mean, but they're young.
They're young though, but still. But I'm a huge Shea fan since like for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And I would like to see him win. I really don't care if it's him or Luka.
I think it should be him or Luka,
but
to be honest.
I feel like this is Luka's year to win it. Honestly.
Because I feel like, okay, really, Jokic at this point shouldn't win it. Not like, okay, not voter fatigue, not because I'm an Embiid fan.
What has he done?
Look at his team.
To win it as well.
Well, okay, I mean, he's averaging nearly a triple-double. I think his points are down. But look at his team. Look at his team over the last 3 years. What has changed? When you have a system that is that set, you have Jokic, a superstar center, Jamal Murray, who can give you
Steph Curry in the playoffs.
Who can give you 50, and you have MPJ, who's gonna shoot it till there's no tomorrow and hit them. Like, that's just a really well constructed team. Like, you talk about the Thunder. I think the Nuggets are the perfectly constructed team, and without much change. Like, yes, Jokic has a lot of value, but these other players do too. Yeah. They all play a role. And I think...
Even the role players for the Nuggets.
They're good. They're really good. And I feel like that's why you have to, like, give it to someone like Shea. Like, really take Shea off that Thunder team. And you can say the same thing for the Nuggets, but they have the Jamal and MPJ. The Thunder have, what, Chet and J-Dub? Who would you rather have, Chet and J-Dub or Jamal and MPJ, like, leading
I
the
mean,
team?
if we say in
right now,
if we say in 2 years, is a different answer.
Yeah, but now, Shea is leading them right now, and this is Chet's technically rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Chet was really good to start, but he's kind of cooled off a bit. Still having a great season, but yeah, it's really hard to not like give it to Luka or Shea, who, I mean, Luka, you take off that team, they're absolutely terrible.
They're nothing.
Yeah, they're terrible. But Shea, they wouldn't, I think they'd be, like, maybe a borderline playing team. Like, maybe. Because they are pretty well constructed. So, I like you said, 1 to 2. That's who, like, personally I'd be okay giving it to. I don't know who I'd vote for, like, if I had a vote.
I feel like if I'm voting for SGA, it's just because they're the first seed.
Yeah, but it really is going to take to get to the end of the season for me to decide that.
It might actually.
Because there's only a few games left, but, like, if the Thunder lose some, or if they win some, but they're probably going to lose, to be honest.
Because he hasn't been playing.
He's injured. But that's also another case to his MVP. They were the 1 seed, and now he's injured, and now they're losing games.
Yeah.
So, like the Sixers.
But they've had a tough schedule though.
They had, but the Sixers didn't have Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid only played 29 minutes because he's on a minutes restriction. So, I mean, the Celtics, yeah, it's the Celtics, but
Jason Tatum, Miami.
I mean, yeah, these playoffs are actually gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like every year I've been saying this though since like 2021. Well, not 2020, since 2022.
Yeah, I mean, like this year though, like I really, really believe it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I believed it last year, but like I really believe it this year because I really think it's anybody, like any man for themselves. I think
I just need to see a new champion.
Yeah, I don't want to see the Nuggets. Like they were kind of, I'm not gonna say boring, but like they were just too dominant. Like
the Nuggets broke me.
Yeah.
The last finals matchup. First the Lakers lost, and then I saw when I found out the Heat won. I saw this picture. I saw it on my phone the other day. I like re-downloaded it, but it's a picture of like Heat versus Nuggets, and it was like only on NBA TV. I was just gonna watch that shit, bro.
Oh my god.
That was the first finals I didn't really like care to watch.
Yeah, because it's an 8 seed.
I knew who was gonna win. I literally said Nuggets in 5.
Yeah,
Boom.
I mean, it's pretty.
Like,
hopefully we get a more exciting matchup.
Yeah, I don't want to see a 2nd seed versus an 8th seed again.
I don't know. I feel like we did our NBA predictions last episode, and I think we both said Celtics. I said
Celtics should.
Yeah, Celtics should make it. I think my matchup was Celtics Thunder.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Which would be exciting.
That
but
would be great.
honestly, my answer is gonna change by the end of the season. No doubt about it. I also really want to see how the Sixers play with Embiid now because that'll have like huge implications. Because that'll be a really tough series, but they could beat the Celtics, is what I keep saying. But it's true.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to make the transition to the NFL.
Yeah.
This is why, as a Ravens fan, this hurt me. It didn't hurt me because of what happened now, but what could have happened in the past and how it's too late, right? C.J. Stroud, amazing player, amazing quarterback, right? I remember when we played them week 1, John Harbaugh was like, oh, yeah, they're a good team. They're going to win a lot of games this year. And everyone was like, all right, just talking out of his ass. But they won a lot of games that year, even with C.J. missing some time. And, you know, he's definitely proven himself this year.
100%.
But the Texans are doing something which has never been heard of from the Ravens organization, which is building off your star players. What did the Texans do? They got Daniel Hunter from the Vikings.
Daniel Hunter. He's a dog.
I wanted him for so long.
Did they sign a running back?
No.
They didn't?
See, yeah, no. Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, right?
Joe Mixon, he's been solid for the Bengals. The only reason they didn't re-sign was for like contract stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like
he's been a solid receiving back as well.
Yeah,
he's good.
The thing with the Texans is that like, even was it Tank that got injured last year?
Tank got injured.
Yeah, so
they still drafted Tank though, which I wanted to draft. I wanted him and Zay Flowers too.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, they are a really nice team.
Who's the other receiver?
I feel for you, but I feel for you because Jalen Hurts got AJ Brown without even proving himself.
Who's the other receiver they have?
Nico Collins.
Nico Collins.
Nico Collins is a dog.
6'4".
And then, dude, their tight end, the dude with the dreads, I forget his name, but
he's solid.
Yeah, was it against the Browns? Like when CJ had his like him moment. Then they came back in the playoffs, right? Not that they were just dominating. But there was no. Oh my god! I'm just remembering the game where he sent it. Did he send it to overtime or he won it? Like literally in the last in the fourth quarter.
They won it.
Yeah, and he had 500 yards or something like that.
Who was that against? That's when they were saying he was the MVP. I remember. So they got him 5 weapons basically. Well, pieces.
Yeah.
Can't really say. And then
I mean, I guess they drafted along with him.
Yeah, they drafted along with him, but still. They drafted the right people.
Yeah.
Who we have not. And then they signed this guy, trade for this guy named Stefon Diggs.
He's pretty good. Like, I don't know if you've heard of him. Small receiver. Like, not a big name yet, but he's up and coming.
Second round pick, 2025 second round pick, and I think they got like a 5th and a 6th back.
Diggs, shot, dude.
Look,
he's okay. Josh Allen is in shambles right now.
Yeah.
First off, Stefon Diggs, he better get his shit together.
He needs to.
Because,
he can't have any of these attitude problems.
And he can't have attitude, but he can't have performance problems either. Like, his drop off was crazy. Like, he was one of the best receivers like in the first half of the season, and then he just dropped off a lot,
and that's when the Bills went on their run.
Yeah.
But they started off good. They were like 4-2, and then 6-6, and then 11-6.
The receiving core of Stefon Diggs, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins, like
that's the new best in the league. We don't know what's gonna happen in Cincinnati.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. That's premature because we don't know how. Tank Dell and Nico are good.
Let's go with that.
I guess.
Who's better? There's basically 3 number ones.
Yeah, it's all 3 of them that makes them. As a duo, the Eagles are better.
As a duo, yeah, but as a trio.
Better. But as a trio, they're more complete, especially position wise, slot and outside, whatever. They'll be good.
Yeah. So it's okay. Here's my thing. I like Diggs. I think he's one of my favorite players. Just he's a funny person.
Yeah.
He does have a lot of antics.
It's easy to root for him.
It's easy to root for him. Yeah. He's pretty. I like him, right? But. Of course, I didn't want him on my Ravens because it wasn't really a good fit. We're going to draft a receiver and kind of a bigger one. But still, C.J. Stroud, he hasn't even been a part of the National Football League for 2 years yet.
Yeah,
and he has gotten more help than Lamar Jackson in 7 years.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm mad...
Lamar is a 2-time MVP.
Lamar won MVP unanimously his first year starting in the season. Well, that's okay an L stat because he basically started half the season in 2018. But his second year, he wins unanimous MVP. I don't know why that's not enough for the Ravens front office. Yeah. This kid's pretty good. Let's try to help him out. Maybe Willie Snead isn't good enough.
They've done everything for the defense and just nothing on offense. Maybe they think, this kid's just a wonder kid. He'll do everything for us on offense. We don't need another whatever.
But you can't win. You can't win like that. No matter how incredible any player is, you need to build around them.
Yeah, and you have a star tight end. What else?
We have had so many opportunities to pick someone up. We could have had Tyreek Hill.
Now y'all got Derrick Henry.
But still, here's what I'm saying. Here's my problem with this whole Ravens philosophy because our EDC, our general manager, he said some stuff, I think it was last week, with our philosophy, blah, blah, blah. But I feel Lamar Jackson's incredible. He won a unanimous MVP.
Yeah.
And if you see somebody, even though this is a far, you make an effort. If you see Tyreek Hill open on the market, you make an effort to go get him,
At least try.
You do something, at least try.
Yeah.
And we've had so many opportunities to pick someone up, and we just can't. And it's it's too hard to get these guys. But then we see Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown.
Yeah, it takes nothing.
It really doesn't take that much.
It really does not take anything.
About it.
I don't know why draft picks have just become so valuable.
Yeah,
the Eagles traded Hassan for a 3rd rounder. A 3rd rounder is gonna replace somebody who had 20 sacks 2 seasons ago. Bryce Huff is really his replacement, but to me it just makes no sense. For a 2nd rounder. Maybe, but if you're just gonna dump him off to the Jets, for a year, why wouldn't you just keep him? Why wouldn't you just take the last year of his deal and let him walk the next season? Because if you pair him and Bryce Huff up together, they have Josh Sweat too, so they they do have a number of edges, but still, you could have crazy depth.
Here's my thing with the pay. I understand because we have so many rounds and the way money works in the NFL, they have to have more value. But if a proven talent like A.J. Brown, for example, if he's if he's available, what are the chances that your 2nd round pick is gonna be
better than A.J.
nearly Brown? As good as A.J. Brown?
Yeah. That's especially now, for teams that are in a win now mode, getting draft picks doesn't make much sense. No. But I guess Howie could use it to flip for a trade.
Yeah.
Because he he seems smarter than that than to do a deal that dumb.
Yeah.
But
picks don't matter if you can't hit on them. Like,
you have to get really lucky to hit on him like past the first round.
Yeah.
It happens. But it's like you look at the amount of players drafted after the first round and how many are actually good. It's very small.
We only hear about the Puka Nakuas and the.
Yeah. I mean, and like that's just, I think really like because the system, like they worked him into their system really well.
But my thing with these receivers, like, we have been so bad. Okay, patience if, we don't go out and get the biggest, person on the market. But we've been so bad at drafting. Like, I think we drafted Owe over Pickens. Like, this might be the first time in my life Zay Flowers may be the best receiver we've ever drafted. Like,
you should have drafted Flowers.
At least you didn't draft, bro. But still, like he's not even proven. Like he's too small for I feel like he played like at football only, like playing the game of football. That was his best game. His best and worst game was that game. But his best game was in the playoffs.
You can't really blame him. Like
I can't. He's a rookie in his show. But he's a rookie.
It's a rookie mistake.
If he was in 3 years in the league, that's not happening. Yeah, no, he's not even gonna time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you should have patience because I think they're probably gonna draft a receiver.
We're gonna draft a receiver.
So, in 2 years' time, we could be having a completely different discussion.
Yeah. But one thing is, it's just I don't understand.
No, I would be frustrated.
Yeah, we're just not getting like.
Because you just see these big name players.
Yeah. It's like, you can have Nelson Aguilar. He's played really. Yeah, he's exceeded expectations.
Yeah, no, he was for some reason like he had a resurgence to his career.
Yeah,
in Baltimore.
Pretty awkward.
I mean, OBJ wasn't terrible. He just wasn't much.
He was a part-time player.
Yeah, really.
Like, you can have a 30-year-old OBJ. We don't know what he's gonna be instead of DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. I mean,
37-year-old Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, it's rough. I feel bad.
I feel like I'm so frustrated because it's not even like the Ravens. The Ravens have been bad, but Lamar's been so good. It's been covering up everything bad. And it's like it's like, this Ravens team, they have the perfect mix of everything. Except our number one receiver, I couldn't even tell you who he was. I guess you could say Zay Flowers, but it's like a 5'11" rookie.
Dude, Bateman.
I don't want to talk about
Bateman.
that.
He's just like, he was projected to be good.
He's projected to be good. His ceiling, to me, his ceiling's always been Diggs.
Yeah, but he's been injured.
He's been pretty injured.
Yeah.
And then he's been pretty inconsistent.
Yeah, just really inconsistent.
And OBJ did take away a lot of his targets this year. Dude, you don't understand the magical 3-4 week run to open up the 2022 season. Bro, have you seen that clip? It was like we were playing the Jets on 9/11, and it was like a 55-yard bomb to Bateman, and they were doing.
I do remember that because it was Yeah.
Yeah. No, he had like 2 100-yard games to start off the season. Even though we lost the Dolphins game, he had like a 70-yard touchdown. It was like mostly yak from him. He was going crazy that game.
Yeah, I mean.
And then he got injured and just hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, I just feel like the receivers you have are too inconsistent. And I feel like this draft is not terrible, but I don't think it's one of the strongest drafts that the NFL has seen recently.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, you have Marvin Harrison.
It's an above 500 draft, I'll say.
Yeah, just not Celtics level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll work out. I think it'll work out for you guys.
I feel like we'll get someone.
Yeah, especially with player development and whatnot.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot better. I think we got the cheat. Even though it sounds crazy to say, we got in 2020 after what we've seen last season from the Chiefs receivers. I think we hired a receiving coach to start off the season, and I feel like that even stuff like that has made a pretty big change. Even in the philosophy I've seen from receivers and stuff like that. And I feel like OBJ just being in the building has really helped out.
Yeah, like I was talking about with the Sixers, you just need a vet, dude.
Yeah.
You need somebody who will hold you down. I mean, Embiid's a vet. Kyle Lowry's a vet. like, he's been in the league for a long time, and you just need that guy, not only in the locker room, but on the court to, like, who can guide you and, like, show you what they're seeing and tell you, like, what you should do to help make the team better. And a lot of times, because they're vets, like, their goal is just trying to make the team better because they know they're not in their prime anymore. So it's really important to have that piece, and I think, like, especially with somebody like Zay Flowers, like, Odell had a lot of success early in his career, and if he could shed some of his light of, like, what he wish he would have done to, like, keep and maintain that success, or how to, like, you know, make sure Zay Flowers, like, is conditional and he stays.
That was a big Zay Flowers mention that he was like, OBJ telling him to keep your body right.
Yeah.
And he I don't think he missed a single game besides the last week. But I think he had, what was it? He had some type of like it was his hamstring was like nagging him the last stretch. But he was pretty healthy throughout the entire year.
Yeah, and if he can stay healthy next season, like by week 17, he'll be a 2-year vet now, and like I think every week he's gonna get better.
Yeah.
Like, even if he has better stat lines early in the season and worse stat lines later in the season, he's still gonna be better.
Yeah,
he's gonna
just
know more.
Getting the knowledge, knowing the game.
Especially, like, that'll be helpful for the playoffs. Because then you get a couple weeks to prepare and whatever, so hopefully he stays healthy and progress as well.
He's from Florida. I'm from Florida, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he has potential, man. He really has potential.
He was working out with Tyreek Hill the other day.
Yeah, I saw
Tyreek Hill. He's publicly praised him.
Really?
Yeah, I think in the middle of the season he was like, Zay Flowers is him on a tweet.
Yeah, I saw a picture of Saquon and Jalen Hurts already.
I'll be so excited.
Yeah, no.
I haven't even seen Derrick Henry and Lamar in the same space.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I don't know, like, yes, he's injury prone, but so was DeAndre Swift. And what happened with DeAndre Swift? He stayed healthy and he had a best season of his career.
I feel like the thing with that, I feel like he played for the Giants, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like
he had such a workload on. He didn't have these other pieces around him to make his job that much easier.
In the NFL, the team you're on does kind of affect your injuries a lot. It can be stadium, it can be staff.
The turf at the Giants stadium is
whatever it's called.
Yeah, MetLife. It's terrible. Yeah, I'm super excited for this season. Like, especially after that trade, like,
he shouldn't experience that many injuries, like, statistically this season.
Yeah, no. And I mean,
it should be better.
In the AFC, I think, like, Texans and Ravens will be, like, really fun to watch because, like,
can't wait to lose that game.
Yeah, no, that'll be really, I mean, and then we got some good matchups this season.
Yeah.
Especially for us, like, personally, like, being fans of these teams. Yeah, I think that'll be super fun. Just go back to the beginning of the episode, just women's basketball. Like, I'm super excited for the matchup this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, and to continue to see Caitlin Clark play.
Yeah. I think this is the best matchup we could ask for.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, it's pretty much a dream come true, especially for the NCAA, just because, like, dude. So I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but the get-in price for the men's Final Four is $500. The get-in price for the women's Final Four is $900. That's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah.
But that's awesome. Like, you know how much tickets are going to be for Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut? And because of that, the WNBA, like, I made this point earlier this year. When the WNBA makes more money from these new fans coming to it, the players will get to be paid more.
Get paid more, and then the league gets to expand as well.
Exactly, and like the NBA will be able to push more funds into it and make them paid even more, and we'll see more events like Steph and Sabrina.
Now we get to see Steph, Caitlin Clark.
Yep. Really, just anyway, I guess it's gonna be so much fun to watch that. Like, I really think like women's hoops are on the rise, and some would say men's hoops are on the decline just because. It's not as much defense.
Definitely for college.
I mean, it
has not been the same.
Yeah, no. Last season it was pretty boring in the Final Four. Like, it was a lot of high seed teams, and I mean, it's just you're not getting that Chris Jenkins shot from Villanova. Like, I mean, Jalen Suggs, I guess, but that was. I don't think it was the same. It didn't have the same.
I think some of the stars, like the one true star, I feel like was like Jared McCain.
Yeah, and now he's
and then he lost.
He was, I mean, I respect him a lot.
I think he had like a 50-50, 49.7. So he almost had a 50-50, 95 splits.
Yeah, no, he's like, I'm really happy to see him succeed.
Yeah.
And I really, I can't stand the people who just hate on him because he paints his nails.
Like, that's
you just ridiculous. Let him be who he wants to be, bro. Like, that's not to say he's gay either. Like, he just likes to paint his nails. You think it's cool. He just brings good vibes, and like, you want those types of players in the league, like the fun players who'll bring good energy.
Those are the people who like make the sport, you know.
Like, you always see those clips of like on TikTok compilations of like, oh, NBA funny moments.
Exactly.
And like, you just like sit there and watch the entire thing because it's like, damn, sports are really entertaining.
You just want to be bored and just
exactly. Like, no, have fun with it, bro. Yeah. And like, respect for him for getting that NIL deal with the nail polish.
Exactly.
Make that money. Spread your message, like, be you, and I'm glad that he's like unapologetically him.
Yeah.
Like, he just because people are hating on him.
He doesn't even do anything like crazy. Like,
no, he paints his nails.
That's literally it. Like, people kind of hate on Caleb Williams, but it feels more character issues.
Yeah, I
feel like it's easier to pick on him.
Yeah, because he's not. I mean, but then you see. Jared's speech at the end of the game. He's just like, you can tell he just really cares about the game. He cares about.
And
his
he's
team.
a hard worker.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, like, there's a reason he's succeeded at every level he's played so far.
And he doesn't even have the most physical attributes. Like, he's not the tallest.
He's just talented, man. Like, straight up. But yeah, I really think women's hoops are on the rise, like, big time. And I think that's not even just big for basketball, but just big for sports to get more attention to women's sports because, like, that's been a really big issue over the last decade and that people are trying to push. And now that we have players that are just like undoubtedly entertaining and people just want to watch them play over and over again, like people will tune into the WNBA this season.
Just because
of Caitlin Clark. And then...
And this draft will be pretty big as well.
Yeah, I mean, Angel Reese. Yep. Like whoever Angel Reese goes to, people are going to watch her too.
Exactly.
And then like you always see clips on like ESPN of, okay, they'll post like a 3 or something from the WNBA, and people are on the comments hating, like, okay, like, whatever, it was just a 3 ball. People are gonna actually be engaged and be supportive, and that'll be a really big thing.
Do you know the meme? It'll be like they post anything WNBA related, and in the comments, today I went to Subway and I had a pretty good sandwich. Like they just say it'll be a bunch of the most random shit like they put in the comments. It's like. A lot of I haven't seen those type of things in a minute.
Yeah, dude, like.
But it'll be the whole comment section.
And now the whole comment section when Caitlin Clark is on the highlight is, oh my god, she's insane, she's crazy, she's hurt. Like, no, people are literally
getting a long way.
Yeah, no, it's really and a long way in like a year.
Yeah, not even that long.
Literally like 6 months to a year. So it's just awesome to see, man.
Today I washed my car and I got a pretty good ice cream from this. Like,
yeah, no, it's silly. It's just stupid. Like, I'm glad that the disrespect is gone, and like, I feel like, at least for college hoops, women's basketball has been way better.
Yeah.
And way more entertaining. Like, I was not that entertained by any like of the men's games I saw. I mean, they're running a couple like really good games in the men's division, but that game was just electric. That was like a historic game. Like. Ask any basketball fan to sit down and watch that, even if they don't like the WNBA, they'll be sitting there amazed, like really. So I'm just glad that we all got to experience that, and we keep getting to experience that. Yeah. I think that'll wrap up our episode. We had a good episode.
Good episode.
A lot of good topics. I think a lot's happening right now. Like, doesn't even seem like it, doesn't feel like it, but a lot is happening. So, yeah, thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Watch this video next.
Oh.
Peace out.